Hello, my name is Paula Robbins, and I am the founder and creator of Consciouspreneurs International. And I'm here with my dear friend, Angela Ewari, who is someone I've known for, gosh, it's been, I want to say 10 plus years now. And we've gotten to kind of watch each other's walk over the years as consciouspreneurs, and there's been some evolution. So I thought this would be really, really cool to share with you the pathway of a consciouspreneur, what it looks like at the different stages. And Angela's got just a really impactful and powerful message. So thank you again for doing this, Angela. I'm so happy to have you. And welcome to this little interaction and time to share with our collective.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, glad to have you here. So over the years, your experience and your message and your walk as a consciouspreneur has kind of shifted. When I first met you, you were the running yogini, which not only myself, but many people thought was kind of just the coolest walk ever, and so powerful in the relevance of body, mind, spirit, fitness. And now you're going forward into a more well-rounded message of wellness. So kind of tell us what your path has been, kind of where it started, how you got here, what's going on today.
It started for pain management. About 20 years ago, I had a desk job. I worked at a computer and I would get incredible tension in my neck. And then I developed a cyst on my wrist that was really painful. And my knees just would ache. I was one of those people that could tell you when a cold front was coming through because my knees would ache so bad. And I was in my 20s and I thought, what am I going to do when I get older? I saw a community offering for a beginning yoga class, and it was like a 6 or 8 week class. And I thought, well, let me try it. I've always been intrigued by it. Didn't know a lot about it. So I hate to be cliche, but it changed my life. This instructor just made it so accessible. Her approach was very, whatever you can do is what you can do. And meditation for me was particularly very challenging. I'm a very active person. I was always an athlete. And her approach was, if you can do 5 minutes, do 5 minutes. And that has stuck with me for over 20 years. Because everybody has those days. I'm too busy. I've got too much I got to get done. And I thought, no, 5 minutes. And so that's how it started for me, 5 minutes. And I would breathe, focus on my breathing for 5 minutes. And before you know it, you realize how it makes you feel and the shift that happens within mentally, physically, by taking those 5 minutes. 5 becomes 10, etc. Bless you.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's how my journey began.
Wonderful. So tell us where you are now. What is the current model? I mean, I know that you were doing the running yogini and you were working with a lot of people as like a running coach and a yoga coach. And you've really not only shifted it into a more well-rounded model, but you walk this walk too. I'm guessing that's where it all came from.
Yes. So I decided a few years after doing the yoga practice that I wanted to become a yoga teacher. So I did the yoga teacher training, and synchronicity would bring it that I had some friends that started running about the same time that I was doing this yoga teacher training. And I hadn't run for 15 years. I was a sprinter. I ran 100, 200 meter max, and my friends were training for marathons. And I thought, no way ever was a marathon ever on my radar. But the philosophy and what I was learning as a yoga teacher training was, really tuning into your body, really understanding the mechanics of your body and how to move your body. And also the meditation part, learning how to breathe, really understanding what nasal breathing does for your body physiologically. Right. Nasal breathing triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, that you're relaxed, and breathing diaphragmatically pulls the oxygen into the deepest part of your lungs, so you get more oxygen into your blood, which improves your performance. So all these philosophies that I was learning, I thought, well, this really applies to endurance training. And so I decided to start trying. And yeah, a year later, I ran my first marathon. But
Wow.
what really, for me, was if I can do it, really anybody can do it. I mean, really 100, 200 meter, and I was done. And I've run 2 marathons. I've run the Hood to Coast Relay. I've run to the top of Pikes Peaks. And it really is all because of this philosophy of really understanding how your body works, body, mind, and spirit. And it all works together when you're running, when you're doing yoga, the physiological part, understanding the movement of your body, the breathing, the mental part that plays in, because endurance running is very mental. And then the spiritual part. I mean, the people that you meet and how it broadens your horizons was just so beyond what I had ever anticipated. And I wanted to share. I wanted other people that I see out there struggling, trying to run, to find the tools and techniques to really enjoy running and being out there in nature and accomplishing something that you really never think that you can accomplish. And so that's how the coaching started, is through applying that philosophy.
I love it. And I love seeing your medals. I've kind of seen the full view of this room, and this is only a little sampling of all of the different achievements that you've had with these physical efforts. And I know that running a marathon, even running a 5K, is no small feat. I've run a couple of 5Ks, and I'm not a runner, but I definitely have loved that space. And I've loved the time when you and I were kind of running together and kind of practicing that. And I've kept those principles, the nasal breathing, through many of my fitness endeavors over the years. I still do that. Even if I'm just on a hike and I'm kind of at a steeper incline, I really get focused on the impact of the nasal breathing and how much it really creates a sense of ease in the body and a lift in the endorphins for that ability to really kind of push through it. So I love that piece.
Yeah, and I think it's important. People think, well, I can't breathe through my nose. I can't get enough air. And your nasal passages will open up.
Yeah.
It'll naturally start to open up, and so it'll feel more comfortable. But if you start watching people, you'll see them breathing through their mouth.
Right.
2 things with breathing through your mouth. Breathing through your mouth is a response to stress.
Right.
And so when you breathe through your mouth, you're telling your body and your adrenal glands that you're stressed. And you're also only getting oxygen into the upper part of your chambers of your lungs, which is the narrowest part. So you're not getting enough oxygen in your system. So you then think, well, I've got to keep breathing more. And that cycle starts of that stressful breathing. And so just watch people now. Now you won't be able to not watch people and how they're breathing. And really, it's a practice that you can do anytime to bring your awareness to it. And nobody will ever know. Nobody's the wiser of, you're trying to practice your breathing through your nose. And you will feel a difference in a very short amount of time.
Right. Well, it's something that I've noticed. And as a hypnotherapist, part of my work is to watch how people breathe, because that is a really clear indicator to me of how relaxed they are. And the vast majority of people, when they're very first beginning their experience of relaxing into a trance state, their eyes are closed, their mouth is closed, and they're breathing through their nose. So I can clearly read the energy. That's part of my intuition, is I can tell when somebody's kind of there. But for the most part, I also teach people a very similar mindset to what you're sharing here, and that's 3 deep breaths. Those 3 deep, slow breaths, if you're ever anxious, nervous, stressed, can easily just send a really strong physiological, scientifically chemical message to your brain that everything's okay. So I really get this particular message. So I'm glad that we kind of talked about it, because I think this right here is a really great, valuable tip for anybody who watches this interview.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about your mastermind. Tell me a little bit about, one, your experience with Masterminds and what brought you to create the mastermind offering that you are currently in the process of building.
My first experience with a mastermind was, a real awakening to the power of the collective.
Yeah.
Masterminds in general intentionally are built to bring in people from different backgrounds. You want that variety, you want that diversity of different perspectives. And the first one I was in, there was a personal chef, there was a professional photographer, there was an online educator, there was a public inspirational speaker, there was an alternative medicine person, and me. And I mean, that was a whole lot of different experiences and backgrounds. And that's what I loved about it is, you know, it's very easy when you're building something to get caught up in your own mind and how you think this is going to be, and to step out of that and get different perspectives, and people, you know, teach you things all the time. And so that was really powerful to me. And so
Yeah.
I'm taking that concept to wellness. I think so Wellness Masterminds uses that group concept to bring people from different backgrounds with the belief that everybody has value from their own wellness experience. We all have had different wellness experiences. And so to bring a group together, and I believe a group comes together for a particular reason and that they can help each other for that particular reason. I talk about synchronicity. Paula, you and I are very synchronistically, if that's a word, matched. So I use that concept and to provide the group support, because you find a lot more accountability with a mastermind group, because you realize that other people are counting on you to do your part. If it's your week, to provide information or whatever the lesson is that you are doing that week, or the call to action. Every mastermind has a call to action at the end of every lesson or session. And if you come back and you haven't done it, there's a certain amount of, you know, a sense of accountability to provide for your other group mates, you know, that you do your due diligence as well as everybody else's. So that's why I do the mastermind group concept.
Well, and I think that that is partly where people stay motivated and they stay accountable to their word, because they know they're going to be showing up for the collective.
Exactly.
You know, it's a really powerful piece that is where a mastermind has gained. One, I think it's gained a lot more awareness in the current day, especially with entrepreneurs, to be aware of what a great opportunity this is, to really excel in your own growth. So I love what they're doing. I think it's great. So tell us a little bit more then. Is it something that, when is it starting? Did it start already? How frequently do you meet? How can they find more information to get engaged? Are there any requirements?
Well, let me talk a little bit about the focus of the groups. The focus is really about building wellness awareness.
Okay.
It's about understanding well-being of body, mind, and spirit. And I use lifestyle as a motivation. We talk a lot, you know, as we're young adults, you know, it's impressed upon us to invest financially for our future, but we never really talk about wellness. And, you know, what if you're not well enough to live the lifestyle that you've been saving for, and all of your savings goes towards your healthcare costs?
Yeah.
So wellness awareness is really about, you know, understanding tools and strategies to apply to understand the different aspects of wellness. And really there's 5 components of wellness that I really hit on. There's physical wellness, which is really about your health and well-being of your body, trusting your instinct and really learning what your body is telling you. Individual wellness, which is living from the heart. It's your feelings and your emotions that guide you in your daily life. There's social wellness. I call it using your voice. It's contributing to your communities, and it's about using all your knowledge and your experience that you have to help others. Then there's mental wellness. There's the insight and developing intuition through meditation and visualization tools. And then spiritual wellness, and that's an awareness of the life path that we are on, and an acceptance of the lessons that we all have to learn while we're here on earth. And it really is an awareness of synchronicity and guidance from something greater than ourselves, and learn to look for and understand the signs. So there's 5 components that I hit on. I have 2 different sessions that I'm going to be offering. They will start at the beginning of January. One is a 4-week session and really focuses on the well-being and understanding of body, mind, and spirit, and how they interlink and how they work together. And then there's a 6-week session that touches on those 5 components that I was just mentioning. So it goes a little bit more in depth than just to go beyond body, mind, and spirit. And the group goes through a workbook. I have workbooks for each one of those components that we will be discussing. And then one person in the group is a moderator each week. So we meet once a week. And the moderator has the week to prepare. In the workbook, there's information about what the topic is. And then there's a lifestyle question, and there's things to consider, because our bodies are constantly changing. And what makes wellness so challenging is that every decade our bodies change. You know, no say in that, it's going to happen. And so just as we start to figure out wellness, oh, this really works for me, and you're feeling really great, something changes. Right. And that can be physiologically, or it can be a life event, you know, job change, moving, marriage, divorce, children, empty nesting, a health scare, or a death to someone close to us. All of these are happening consistently in our lives. So as a group, we learn the strategies and the tools for each one of these components to help us through all these life changes. So that will start at the beginning of January, and registration will open after Thanksgiving holiday. You can go to wellnessmasterminds.net. You can follow Wellness Masterminds on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So I encourage everybody to do that. And then there will be an email newsletter that I will send out that will have lifestyle questions or these things to consider, and tips to, you know, apply a practice, and offers and stuff to connect through my website.
Great. Well, I know you have worked really, really hard to build this, and not just for others, but in your own walk. It's been really so wonderful just to, and inspiring, just to watch you walk this and see your diligence as you really consistently just kept walking this way and building this message for others. So I'm really, really excited for you. I'm really excited for how this is going to unfold and build and grow. And I'm just so grateful to have you here as one of our members for Consciouspreneurs International. You have definitely been just, you're like the ideal member. You do the work and you walk the walk, and it means something to you to really contribute to the greater good. And it's going to be just so wonderful to have this conversation 6 months from now, 1 year from now, 5 years from now, to see what's evolved and what's ascended and what's grown from what you've created. So
thank you, Paula. That means a lot. It really does.
Yeah.
And I really have to thank you. I mean, you were an answer to my prayer, because you know that I have been looking for guidance, because I had the concept, but I just didn't know how to break it down and to clarify it. And I happened on Facebook and saw that you were offering this thing, and this collective really is amazing. I mean, the strategy that you have and the structure that you've put into place, so it is a consistent thing, and that you can keep referring back to all of your knowledge that you have to share with us. And so I really appreciate you for providing this opportunity for the rest of us to work together, to be a mastermind, and to make the difference.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was such a need for me in my last 12 years as a consciouspreneur. I mean, I'm nearing into my 13th year, and I can honestly say that one of the pieces, I've had some great friends and peers in my circle, but to create it in more of a collective and a movement of those of us that really walk the path of being a consciouspreneur and serving the greater good was just so needed. And so it's been such an honor to create it and to see the type of people that I've attracted to come in and walk with me, and let's do this together. You know, there's been a lot of experience that I've gained and a lot of strength that I've built because of that experience, which has led to the wisdom that I just want to share and exchange with other consciouspreneurs. So thank you again. So give us your information one more time. Tell us where to find you, what Facebook group you want us to join, so that we know how we can participate.
Everything is under Wellness Masterminds. So wellnessmasterminds.net is the website. And Wellness Masterminds you can find on Facebook. There's a page right now. I will do a group later, I think once I start getting the registrations in. And then Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. So
they're all Wellness Masterminds also?
Yep.
Great.
Yep.
Great. And on your website, is there a sign-up page for your newsletter?
There will be, yes.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Well, great. Well, again, thank you so much for walking with me and for walking with us as consciouspreneurs and being amongst all of our cool greatness. And I just look so forward to seeing how this comes together and just gets brighter and brighter and more impactful as you truly ascend on this cool path. So thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Paula.